happens when you don't change your oil? What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. Wait, before we begin, let's switch over to the new camera I just picked up. A7 IV with the G Master lens. Let's see the quality difference. Let me know how this looks. I can already tell from this viewfinder, it looks amazing. Excuse me for all the noise, let's close the door. Let's go inside the car. So as you can hear, there's construction going on. There's been construction going on in my building. Like I said, they were renovating the whole 5th floor, but today's not about that. Today is about going to get some things done on the car, and we're gonna be heading over to Euromotor Performance, which you guys seen many times, and we're gonna be meeting up with Jonathan. He's the regional manager of the east side of Florida, and we're gonna be discussing some things with him and also our next event. So stay tuned, enjoy the footage. It's gonna be a lot of footage today. And let's do a cold start for the boys. So that current setup is stock downpipes, active auto work, equal length mid pipe, non-resonated, along with the AWE switch path. And people have asked me what's the best combination. That's the best combination for an exhaust. I haven't really looked into downpipes, and that's something that I may look into the future, but I don't know. As of right now, I do not want to do anything else. I think it sounds perfect. I have enough power. Besides that, let's head over to Euromotor Performance. So before we continue the rest of the video, I want to thank our sponsors for this video, and that's Simply Carbon Fiber. If you guys watch some of my videos, you guys know that Simply Carbon Fiber is a proud sponsor of my channel, and what they sent me over was one of their newest money clips out there. And this is made out of simply just carbon fiber. You know, no pun intended, but as you can see right here, it's made out of high quality carbon fiber with a nice clear coat. So it's something that when you feel, you can tell it's not cheap. You know, it's a nice carbon fiber money clip, whether it's something lightweight that you're looking for, something to travel with. And this is something that I'm going to be using a lot more, because when we go up to the invasion of Orlando, I want to make sure that's something in my pocket that's slim instead of a bulky wallet. But definitely check this out. I'll leave the link in the description, and also want to thank them again for sponsoring this video. If you guys have any questions about some of their products, let me know in the comments, and I'll get that question answered for you. Okay. Other than that, let's head back into the video and find out exactly some of the questions we want to discuss about the oil changes with Jonathan from Liqui Moly. All right guys, so we're at Euromotor Performance, and like I said early in the video, we're gonna be meeting up with Jonathan. Jonathan's from Liqui Moly, as you can see from his shirt, and also good looks. And we're here today to talk about oil service, right? And some of the key products and key additives about maintaining the health of your motor. And again, Jonathan has been a great partner with BMW Invasion. He is the East Side Regional Manager of Florida. So Jonathan, take it away.
Well, Ken, thank you for that good look comment. I appreciate that. We're here, yes, to talk about oils, especially the importance of having the approved and the correct specs for your vehicle, along with the additives, which ones to use for what situations, and which one will give you the most benefit and the longevity of your engine. Just like you made the comment about healthy engines, the oil is the lifeblood of your vehicle. So just like you do a proper diet, you want to make sure that you're healthy, same thing you want to do for your vehicle, and make sure you get the extended life of the vehicle and make sure it runs at its optimal level always.
And there's been a lot of questions that I got on my Instagram when I posted a question about, you know, what's the key question that you guys have about oil services? And I know a lot of you guys mentioned something about additives. And Jonathan, we talked about additives early in this video, right? It's basically something that helps your engine to elongate the health of it. What are some additives that I know a lot of my viewers, they have an F80 M3 or F8X platform. What are some additives they could use on their car to keep the motor healthy?
Correct. Well, just a little more knowledge on oils. All oils have additive packages in it that are recommended by the manufacturer. So additives are coming more important with each coming year as technology changes. So like I said, the most important thing is specs and approvals first to make sure you have the additive package. But some of the added benefits from our additives, for instance, our engine flush. We always recommend that you do an engine flush either every 20,000 miles or, as I like to do it, every oil service, because no matter what oil it is, And it doesn't matter if your vehicle has 1 mile, if it has 10,000 miles, or if it has 100,000 miles. The minute you start that engine, deposits start building, the oil starts breaking down, so you might get some sludge buildup. And you want to make sure you eliminate that every time that you're putting fresh oil in, because you want to get the most bang for your buck for the oil change. Right. And make sure the car is running like it's supposed to.
Right.
Another one that we always like to recommend is for our fuel.
Oh, I didn't know that, because to be honest, let's think about this. A lot of these gas stations out there, do you really think they maintain it to the highest quality they need? Probably not. Maybe some of them that you've gone to where there is bad gas, and there's a lot of occasions where people do put bad gas in and it causes issues. But you mentioned something about the gasoline system cleaner. What is that?
Correct. So our gasoline system cleaner, it is a very strong, potent cleaner. So it's going to clean out the entire fuel system. You're talking about the fuel lines, fuel rails, injectors, the whole 9 yards. And just like to your comment, you know, the gas here in the United States, it's not the best quality.
Yeah.
And like you said, some gas stations might let the tanks get really empty, and that's where all the, you know, dirt might sit there. So you do want to go ahead and make sure that the car is cleaned out, the gas is healthy. So we always recommend to do this either every 20,000 miles or once a year, whatever comes first, depending on your driving habits.
Correct, okay.
So very important.
And one of the things I mentioned in my last video that we met up with Jonathan like a while back was Ceratec. Ceratec was a big popular product that I was actually pretty surprised about. It's basically a ceramic coating for inside your vehicle. So Jonathan, let's touch base a little bit more about Ceratec, just for some of the viewers that didn't know what it is.
Ceratec is actually our #1 selling additive at the moment. And like you just mentioned, it is a ceramic coating. So everybody that's familiar with ceramic coating the paint, imagine this is for the engine. So when your piston is moving into the cylinder walls, it kind of makes these little grooves and imperfections sometimes.
Yeah.
So what the ceramic coating does, it fills those gaps so you get a smoother, you know, operating.
Yeah.
And then it has a solid friction additive also mixed. So it's a two-part additive. The solid friction is gonna reduce the wear, reduce the heat. It's gonna give you more protection. So the car is gonna run cooler. You get, you know, better gas mileage and optimal driving conditions.
So what you're telling me is there's a lot of benefits to it. It doesn't hurt to add it onto your oil procedure, right? So Jonathan, I know sometimes when you change different brands of oil, right, some things may happen, right? Switching from X brand over to Liqui Moly, I know this topic has been brought about on the forums. People have heard different noises on their cars. What is that about?
Okay, thank you for bringing that up. I wanted to touch base on that because I have been asked this question before. People have switched over to Liqui Moly from whichever brand they were using, and they've told me, hey, you know, my car's making a weird noise, but then it eventually goes away. So to help everybody understand, every oil, as you're driving the vehicle, like I said earlier, there's deposits that build up. There could be some sludge that gets stuck onto the lifters. If switching over and not doing an engine flush, those deposits and buildup will stay on the lifters. So in these cases, have I explained to people, if you're doing the switch over and do not do the engine flush, you might have these noises. And then some people say, yes, but after a while it goes away. Correct. Why? Because Liqui Moly does have a strong detergent in all their oils. So as you drive the vehicle, it will help clean those deposits up. So the most important thing, and we always recommend, do an engine flush before every service. Now we do recommend that you do it every 20,000 miles. But if you're a car advocate and you want to take care of your vehicle, it is safe to use with every oil change. Always go with what the manufacturer recommends first. So if it's 10,000, 15,000, go with that recommended first. But if you want to do it every 5,000, 6,000, it is safe to use. And that will save you a lot of the issues of you're hearing the loud lifter noises and you know, other causes of switching over to Liqui Moly. So I just wanted to thank you for touching on that because it has something that's been come up a few times, and I just wanted to let everybody, assure everybody out there that it's not the oil, it's just deposits that are built up, that we have solutions to make that go away.
And it's basically the additives and the cleaning agents that's giving your engine a beneficial cleaning inside. And don't be cheap. Use the engine flush. Get it done right. Don't be cheaping out on your motor because, like I said, that is your heart and that is the blood inside your motor. You want that to be clean and to operating 100%. So besides that, we're gonna dump into the car, do the oil change, and enjoy the cinematics because you don't wanna be all about that. I got the new camera, I got the new rig, so I'm excited for that. But also, on another video, we're gonna be touching base about our event coming up in Orlando. I know Liqui Moly has been a big supporter of BMW Invasion, so we're gonna be filming a video here today about that event. So stay tuned for that. I'll link it in the description and also maybe up on top one of these bubbles here. So Jonathan,
down low.
Down low here. You two don't have that yet.
He's having fun with his new camera, so let's see what he comes up with.
But yeah, so Jonathan, we'll definitely deep dive into that, so definitely check that video out. But I know there's some questions that people probably have questions about, but they're too scared to ask. Jonathan is probably one of the experts here. So Jonathan, what happens when you don't change the oil?
Well, the main thing that you'll probably see is that the vehicle is gonna start maybe idling rougher or run a little harder. Gas mileage could go down, loss of power. Because what happens is when you don't change the oil filter breaks down, so it's not filtering that oil in the vehicle that well. So you start getting buildup, sludge, and that could cause long-term, even more harmful effect. So you want to make sure you stay on top of it. Go with what the manufacturer recommends. If it's 10,000, 12,000, 15,000, go with what they say first. It's safe to do it before, so if you want to take care of your cars and you want to go ahead and maintain them, you can do them every 5,000 to 6,000 miles. So it's safe to do. But the main thing is that you want to protect the engine because it could cause harm. Like I said, loss of power, idling rough, and then it could have long-term damage, maybe a lift or something that could break. So you just want to be safe.
Can't run and hide, look out below. Whatever feels right, when you know you know. Nothing like I would have guessed. Up so high, I'm feeling blessed.
Some key things that you want to look into before you use the engine flush is, Jonathan, go ahead.
Right, very simple procedure. It's not that hard. So what you want to do, you want to go ahead and start the car, get it to its operating temperature. Once it's at that temperature, you go ahead and pour in the engine flush and let it idle for 15 to 20 minutes. Do not drive the vehicle, just let it idle. Once the time is elapsed, turn off the vehicle, just dump the old oil, and then it'll come out clean.
So that is exactly what we're going to be doing now. We're going to start the car up and kind of get through that procedure because everything's methodical.
That is true. That is true. You want to do it, take your time, make sure you do the proper steps, because there's been instances where people do little boo-boos and you don't want that.
Little boo-boos. So one key thing when you use the engine flush, you want to make sure your car is off, then pour it into your oil, and at that point, that's when the magic happens. And also you definitely want to start the car up again. And when you start the car up again, it heats up the additive to break down some of the composites and some of the material built up inside the valves, right?
Correct. So once you put the engine flush in and you let it idle for 10-15 minutes like we're doing now, when you go ahead and drain out that old oil, don't believe that you're going to see clumps of stuff coming out and just everywhere. No, you're going to see a really reduced, finer, thinner oil, and that's how it's just breaking everything down to go ahead and release. The importance of the engine flush, like I stated earlier, doesn't matter if the engine is fresh off the factory, rolled off the assembly line, has 1 mile or 100,000 miles. The minute that engine turns over, the oil starts to break down, deposits will start building. So that's the importance, because the more you go without, flushing out the engine, the more those deposits will build and can cause long time, damage to the vehicle that you want to avoid.
All right, so the last time we were here doing the oil change, we did the Ceratec, and I didn't know about this. Ceratec, you do not need to do again. It's good for up to 30,000 miles. So the last time I was here obviously was 10,000 miles ago, or 5,000 miles ago. I just lost count. I just did it based on time, because now the time is for me to change the oil based on the time, not the mileage. So I don't need to do it now. But Jonathan, about Ceratec, it's 30,000 miles, right?
Correct. So since Ceratec is a 2-part additive, it has the ceramic coating that bonds with the metal for up to 30,000 miles. When we're doing the oil change now, what's coming out is going to be the solid part, which is the friction modifier. We have a product named MOS2 that could replenish that part when we do the new oil change. So the Ceratec could be added every 2 oil changes, and in between you can use the MOS2 to hold up that solid part.
I actually had a question to Jonathan. Does it really make a difference if you were to be the type of driver that always goes balls to the walls, or a driver like myself that, you know, I'll do a pull here and there? Does it really make a difference, Jonathan?
To be honest with you, yes and no. So for instance, the technology now in these vehicles not only works on the mileage that you drive the car, it's the time the engine is on, that it's idling, the temperature it's running. Our oils are tested for these very rough conditions. So for instance, Turner Motorsports, they have the new M3 that's coming out for the Rolex 24-hour race that's coming out. They run our oil. They put it through the ringers, as they say, because it's 24 hours straight on the same oil. And there's never been oil consumption issues. There's never been breakdown of it, and it's running perfect. So to answer that question, not necessarily. It does not make a difference. One thing that I will mention, there are a lot of different fuel options out there. So if you do run E85, if you modify the vehicle, you do want to change the oil quicker, because those modified fuels will break down the oil quicker. So for E85, for instance, you want to change it every 3,000 to 4,000 miles max, because it will break down the oil quicker. I know a lot of you out there know this already, but it's always good to refresh. And for people out there that don't know, it's good to have that little bit of knowledge. So be on top of that.
So this is the time where you want it to let your engine warm up, and also to be able to measure engine oil level. Obviously with the F80 M3s and also these newer BMWs, there's no more dipstick. You're gonna have to do it with the onboard system and onboard computer. So obviously right now I'm measuring it, and it's at 38% almost done. So I'll tune in when we are done with that. All right, so as you can see, it's at this max level. It's not just below, it's actually at its max. So I'm pretty much good on the engine oil level. The engine oil is pretty much changed. I just have to reset the sensor here that reminds me for the oil change. But yeah, clean bill of health for the vehicle, and you definitely want to keep up with your oil changes, guys. All right, so Jonathan has to head up to another client. Took a lot of his time already today. I'm gonna wrap this video up in a little bit, but Jonathan, now you have to go, but definitely check him out on the 19th. Bother him with a lot of questions. Ask him questions he may not know, maybe about himself. I'm kidding.
No, but honestly, guys, if you have any questions about the products, anything like that, I'm sure Ken will probably put my Instagram handle here or
right over there. It's
there.
been in here multiple times in the
yeah.
video.
You guys reach out to me, any questions like that, I'll help you out. You know, like I said, Liqui Moly, we like to run it like a family. So
he treats us like family, and that's what it's all about.
Thank you.
And we treat all you guys that watch this video like family. And everybody that answers or asks us any questions, I always try to get the best answer for you. And I want to give you guys the most transparent information possible.
Yeah, and we'll be honest with you. You know what I mean? If there's a question you guys get really scientific with, I won't tell you the answer right away. I'll tell you, let me do some research, and I'll come back to you, and I'll tell you if it's a yes or no. We're very honest. So
yeah, and I had a question something earlier today, and he was able to ask his department head, the mad scientist out there in Germany, and was able to give me the information. So something that I wanted to know from my end, but other than that, you know, Jonathan, I want to thank you again.
Hey, no, thank you.
We'll see you in next month.
Yeah.
And then from there, we're going to be invading Orlando.
And then possibly who else knows where we're going to be invading next. So
I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I got a wedding coming, so after that, I'm chilling out for a little bit. All right, so I'm going to wrap this video up. I know Jonathan had to leave. But I want to thank the team over here at Motor Performance for always taking care of my car. Sure, I could have done it myself, but I would have probably made a mess in my parking garage, and I didn't want to do that. I definitely want to come here and kind of give you guys some information about some of the questions that you guys had and also the questions that I had. But I want to thank Jonathan for coming out and also enlightening us, and also giving us the information that we need to make the right decisions on maintaining our health of our engine. So other than that, I want to thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys next week, so peace.